Campaign announced it had raised more than $100 million since President Biden decided to pass the torch to his vice president. And with just over 3 months to Election Day, she has wasted no time in taking on former President Donald Trump when she visited her campaign headquarters in Wilmington, Delaware, which she has now inherited from her current boss.
So in the days and weeks ahead, I, together with you, will do everything in my power to unite our Democratic Party, to unite our nation, and to win this election. You know, as many of you know, before I was elected as Vice President, before I was elected as United States Senator, I was the elected Attorney General of California, and before that I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his.
Harris also paid tribute to President Biden, who called into his former campaign headquarters as he nears a full recovery from his COVID-19 diagnosis a week earlier.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe. It is my intention to go out and earn this nomination and to win. So in the days and weeks ahead, I, together with you, will do everything in my power to unite our Democratic Party, to unite our nation, and to win this election. Together we fight to build a nation where every person has affordable health care, where every worker is paid fairly, and where every senior can retire with dignity. All of this is to say, building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
Go get him!
The former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who wields considerable sway in the Democratic Party, called Biden one of the most consequential presidents in American history, while quickly backing his endorsement of Harris, thereby complicating any prospect of anyone challenging the VP in the short time left before the convention.
We're very excited about praising his legacy and electing Kamala Harris president.
A view echoed by many of the party's lawmakers, including this Virginia congressman.
I think Kamala Harris is going to inject a whole new dynamic of energy and enthusiasm, and we're seeing that today in very dramatic fashion. I mean, donations to the party are approaching $100 million in one day. That's never happened. That's historic. So it tells you a lot about pent-up concern about Trump and enthusiasm for a new ticket. So I think she begins on a very promising note, and I think she has the potential to unify the Democratic Party at our convention next month.
While Republicans have quickly moved to paint Harris as even worse than the man she's seeking to replace in the White House, as they railed against the changing of the guard by Democrats.
You cannot, for 3.5 years, take a guy who clearly didn't have the mental capacity to do the job. Kamala Harris lied about it. My Senate Democratic colleagues lied about it. The media lied about it. Every single person who saw Joe Biden knew that he wasn't capable of doing the job. And for 3 years, they said nothing until he became political dead weight. That is not a way to run a country. That is not a way to run a political party. That is an insult to voters.
All this while Eric Holder, the former Attorney General during the Obama administration, is conducting vetting of potential running mates for Harris, with reports that North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz are all in the vetting mix.
His consideration will likely be a running mate who can shore up support for her in key battleground states, like an Arizona or Pennsylvania, where recent polling has shown Trump with an edge. Two purple states that Democrats won in 2020. And given the historic nature of her candidacy, a black woman of South Asian descent, who her running mate is could matter most in parts of the country that are more rural and less diverse, but where people show up to the polls. Sherwin Bryceby's SABC News, New York.